Hey, 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 happy Tuesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, gang, and welcome back to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by Monolith Board Games and their Mythic Battles role-playing games over on GameFound. Yes, we will talk about our sponsors in just a little bit. So welcome aboard, everyone. Tonight is Tuesday, March 24th, 2026. This is a live stream 1303. If you're not overly familiar with the show, let me point out super casual around here. Just hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop role-playing game news. And then we will usually discuss a topic. Every once in a while, might do like an AMA or, you never know what's going to happen around here, but usually it's a topic. And tonight we're going to discuss how we might be able to put a stop to the AI slop in tabletop. Yowza. And a thank you to, if I remember right, I think it was Pete Stracklich last week had floated out the title. I was talking about the topic, and they floated out that title or words to that effect. I was like, yeah, it's kind of a rhyme there. Yeah, all right. So, do want to mention, when you're not watching videos here on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit the Gaming Gang website. That's right. Swing it over to the gaminggang.com, where you're going to find plenty of things that you will never see here on YouTube. Don't miss out. Come on, you know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. And then, because this is a live stream, there is chat available. Now, you must be a subscriber to the channel for at least an hour before you can take part in chat. And if you check off that box and you want to say howdy, maybe you got a question, comment, by all means, fire away. I will do my absolute best to respond. First out the gate tonight is DB. Semper Buffo's with us, as is J-Man. Art by Hobo, Keithulu, and Kathy Evans are all joining us so far tonight. And I'll take a guess. We might have the lovely and talented Miss Sarah D lurking in the shadows as our chat moderator. That's right. She's our chat moderator, the one with the glittery band hammer. So behave. So let's talk about our sponsor, because currently on GameFound and over 160% funded are the Mythic Battles role-playing games, Pantheon and Ragnarok. And this is the lowdown from Monolith Board Games. 2 apocalypses, 1 lethal engine. Mythic Battles RPG brings the acclaimed board game universe to a tabletop role-playing setting with 2 standalone core books, Pantheon, a Greek post-apocalypse, and Ragnarok, a Norse survival fantasy. Powered by a highly tactical player-facing system where the game master never rolls, you must manage your vital resources and survive the brutal death spiral to forge your legend. Fully written, beautifully illustrated, and shipping in less than a year. In Pantheon, the world is not as it was. Gone are the days of bright skies, full fields, and flashing blue oceans, filled with sea life and plied by hardy sailors. Gone are the citadels of thought, commerce, and democracy. Gone are the times when gods walked among humanity, bringing with them their bounty, blessings, and divine presence. The earth is rent with great fissures, its soil poisoned by venom, hate, and deep magics. Small communities lie in the ruins of great cities, while the rest of humanity huddles in hidden villages or roams the earth as starving nomads. War, a vast destructive conflict between the gods and the titans, rages over land and sea, leaving nothing but the dead in its wake. In Ragnarok, the cold of the northerly wind sweeps across the world. The crops wither and die. Brother fights brother, and skies darken as the warring gods shatter the earth. Ragnarok approaches. And you are a champion of the gods, summoning your courage to grip your sword with a fire in your eyes, to serve your divinity until death and beyond. Welcome to the world of mythic battles, Ragnarok, and the evolving story of the end of days. You can reserve a copy of either role-playing game hardcover with PDF for a pledge of 55 euros. You can grab both in print with PDFs and extras for a pledge of 115 euros through April 2nd. Expected fulfillment is this November. Yes. And of course, I did share a GameFound preview video. By all means, check it out. Let's see. Graph Paper Architect is with us, as is retired on a bike. Kevin R. Smith is also popping on by. And yes, Sarah D is with us tonight. So Graph Paper Architect says they just came off work, saw the title, thought they'd come and pitch in. Their company, Tactical Fantasy Games, has publicly stated they will not use AI in products because they support artists. And they use it for YouTube thumbnails since it's disposable art, but not products. As far as stopping it, I don't think we can. Okay, so I must ask, and I know we're going to get into this topic after the news. Why is it all right to utilize AI drawing from other artists' work for a thumbnail, which is still going to be, even though you said it's disposable art, it's still going to be posted up on YouTube and it's going to remain there. But then you won't use it in your products that you sell. You can hold on to your answer until we get into that topic. But that feels a little cherry picked because AI artwork is still essentially utilizing established artists' work to build that thumbnail. I'm just saying. All right, let's jump on into the news because the Pathfinder Lost Omens Hellfire Dispatches source book is going to be arriving next month. And I've got the skinny from Paizo Inc. A single spark has ignited the dry tinder of decades-long saber rattling into the full-fledged inferno of the Hellfire Crisis, embroiling an entire region into the war between Infernal Cheliax and its former holding of Andoran. Dispatches from each front reveal the past and present of the war, along with how the right group of heroes might shape the future of the conflict, from the front line to backroom intrigue and from grim reality to fantastical struggles. These dispatches cover the full range of the Hellfire Crisis. In addition to news of the war and fronts where heroes might win important victories, this 128-page setting sourcebook provides new options for factions involved in the war. The Eagle Knights loyal to Andoran and the Hell Knights divided by Cheliax's wartime demands were there when the first blows were struck. Others were pulled in as the crisis spread into their homes, from shadowy Nidell to the halls of power in Absalom, and from the already bloody forest of Nirmathos. Nirmathos. The settlements beneath the inner sea. Pathfinder Lost Omens Hellfire Dispatches is an invaluable resource for any player or game master operating within the Hellfire Crisis event. including a comprehensive overview of the war's timeline and effects throughout the Lost Omens campaign setting, told through first-person accounts from every front of the conflict. A gazetteer of prominent NPCs and plot hooks in each of the conflict's primary fronts, from the Ark of Eredin to Absalom, and from shadowy Nidal to the waters of the Inner Sea itself. 10 archetypes, including 3 freedom-loving Eagle Knight options, the law-bound Hell Knight, Sarsown Aspirant, and more. New character options for members of all classes and themes are contained within. You'll find more than a dozen new troops to challenge parties on all sides of the conflict. Perfect complement to the skirmish roles presented in Pathfinder Battlecry. Whether you're fighting the battles of the Hellfire Crisis and the Hellbreakers or Hell's Destiny adventure paths, assisting the Pathfinder Society as it navigates the continent-spanning war in the Pathfinder Society organized play campaign, or running your own exciting war-based adventure, Pathfinder Lost Omens Hellfire Dispatches has everything you need to bring the Pathfinder setting's largest conflict to your table. The 124-page hardcover will carry an MSRP of $44.99 when it lands April 1st. Well, yes. The Hellfire Crisis is currently going on. It is a 2-part adventure path. So the first half of that adventure path, which I believe takes characters from 1st through 10th levels, is already out. This is going to come out in April, and then I think it's June or July. Might be June when the finale, the Hell's Destiny adventure path, is going to land. Let's see who else has popped on in. We've got the Madman, good friend of the show, and also chat moderator. Danny W. Gable has popped on in, and I see W. Forge is in the house as well. Very cool. Very cool. Moving right along. A new Delta Green adventure is landing in stores this week from Arc Dream Publishing, and I've got the lowdown on Owl's Head Mountain. Just another campfire tale. Have you heard the legend of Cooter McGee? They never did find the body of that murderous old moonshiner. Every time a hiker or a partying college student goes missing on Owl's Head Mountain, people say, Cooter McGee did it. They laugh when they say it, but never too loudly. Fear of Cooter McGee isn't the only thing to haunt those Vermont woods where the hills rise wild. A few years back, 2 surveyors disappeared and floods killed over a dozen searchers. Now a pair of blasters have vanished while preparing to build a set of world-class ski slopes. Delta Green knows what really happened in those catastrophic floods. Its leaders decide it's time to deal with the threat of Owl's Head Mountain once and for all. Does that mean a crazy outlaw who should be long dead? Or something worse? Your agents are about to find out. Owl's Head Mountain can be played with Delta Green, the role-playing game, or the free quick start rules in Delta Green Need to Know. Makes a perfect companion to the 1990 source book Delta Green, The Conspiracy. Of course, those are all available from Arc Dream Publishing. This 40-page softcover is now available in retail, carries an MSRP of $19.99. The PDF is not out at Drive-Thru RPG yet. Should be shortly, and it will be probably available for $9.99 if my MSRP sense is going off correctly. Danny Gable says, he said Cooter. Hey, that's the guy's name. What can I tell you? All right, now out in PDF from Menagerie Press is the Shadowfinder Player Guide. Here's what I know. Be the hero. Presenting the Shadowfinder Player Guide, Shadowfinder's conversion of Pathfinder First Edition player books. The best of the core rulebook, Advanced Player's Guide, Ultimate Magic, Ultimate Combat, Advanced Race Guide, and Ultimate Equipment Guide, converted for Shadow Dark. Shadowfinder is compatible with the first edition of Pathfinder. So what is Shadowfinder? It's the Menagerie Press version of a modernized old school Renaissance. Shadow Dark-ified versions of Pathfinder compatible material. Almost all your favorite character features streamlined and made easily accessible for updated play. And it works great with the Shadowfinder Bestiary, which is Shadow Darkified bestiaries from Pathfinder First Edition. So what is the Complete Player Guide? The Complete Player Guide is the Shadow Dark conversion of all 6 First Edition Pathfinder hardback player books, spanning a decade of Pathfinder content, condensed down to 192 pages. You'll find rules for the greatest advanced classes, the Alchemist, Blood Rager, Gunslinger, Magus, Skald, Slayer, and more. New rules for the core classes, Unchaining Thieves and Fighters, Alignment-focused Clerics, Lawful Healers, Chaotic Priests who control undead, and Neutral Priests who have a choice. Specialist Wizards, Conjurers, Enchanters, Illusionists, and Necromancers, Paladins, Druids, and more. Rules for over 50 new converted ancestries, almost every option ever published in the original material. You've got Azamar, Androids, Damphir, Gorin, Monkey Goblins, Undine, Kitsune, Tengu, Samsarans, and far more. New weapons: Simple, Club, Morningstar, Martial, Flail, Halberd, and exotic weapons: Gnomish Flick Mace, Dueling Sword, Chain Blade, as well as pistols, muskets, and other firearms, and firearm mishaps. New alchemical equipment, such as the Pickled Quasset, Silver Sheen, Sunrod, Smog Stick, Tanglefoot Bag, Zombie Oil, and dozens of other alchemical tinctures, oils, extracts, and tools. Special weapon material such as adamantine, cold iron, cryptstone, mithril, silver, spire steel, and others. New gear such as barbed arrows, blood root rope, bullseye lanterns, candle helmet, lantern staff, sling stones, and slings, and more. There's new iconic spells such as Black Tentacles, Boil Blood, Control Undead, Wail of the Banshee, Wall of Bone, and dozens more arcane and divine spells. This 192-page PDF is available now. It is over at Drive-Thru RPG for $25. Stay tuned. I am giving away a copy of the PDF to someone watching live, and then I will also be giving away a copy to someone who is watching after the fact, maybe even on Memorex. So don't go anywhere. Don't change that channel. I'll be telling you about that in just a few minutes. On to our next news piece. The World Below, Ed Greenwood's Monstrous Ecology, is now available in print and PDF from Onyx Path Publishing. Here's the scoop. From the mind of a fantasy RPG master, Ed Greenwood's Monstrous Ecology provides extensive ecologies for a massive array of beasts, bugs, and butchers found in the world below. The World Below, Ed Greenwood's Monstrous Ecology, drastically expands material presented in the core book for the World Below RPG. It includes over 30 monsters provided with Ed's unique level of horrifying detail and fantastical depth. New ancestries, settlements, dogmas, and guilds for players to select for their characters. Over 50 new theses for players to assign their characters, giving them a much-needed edge in this hostile subterranean world. The World Below is a game of adversity, heroism, terror, and awe. Your characters will overcome or be defeated by terrible beasts, environmental calamities, and chaos storms savaging their surroundings and the souls they encounter. They will chart their journeys, chronicle their tales, and pass their stories down to their descendants, who will in turn become your characters when your old ones perish or retire. The 95-page standard hardcover with PDF is available by way of Drive-Thru RPG for $22.99. If you want to get just the PDF, you can do so for $11.99. So as DB points out, this looks cool, but also very hard to read. Yup. I do understand that. I certainly do understand that. Does look kind of cool. I gotta say though, 95 pages, that's it? I thought maybe, be a little more than that, but I guess not. All right, let's see. Kevin King, Agile Monk, another great friend of the show, and Eric Troop are with us in chat tonight. Looks like we got a pretty nice chat rocking and rolling this evening. All right, let's wrap up with our final news piece. Now available in PDF from Adamant Entertainment is the 3rd edition of Thrilling Tales. Here's a skinny. Two-fisted pulp action. Grab your fedora and your ivory-handled 45s and get ready for the adventure of a lifetime as Thrilling Tales unleashes the pulse-pounding, Nazi-punching excitement of the pulp magazines and cliffhanger serials of the 1930s and 40s into a brand new 3rd edition using Adamant Entertainment's take on the legendary D6 system, D6 Plus. This exhaustive guide to the genre features a complete game system. No other books are required. A timeline of the 1930s, information on pulp-era weapons and vehicles, a guide to pulp villains, including Nazis, the Thuggee, Perils of the Orient, and the Red Menace, a random adventure generator based on the writings of Doc Savage creator Lester Dent, an introductory adventure, and much more. Wasn't Lester Dent a pen name? For a second, I zoned on. Weren't there different authors using Lester Dent? Could be wrong, but I know like The Shadow, that was a situation like that. So, just saying. You'll find shadowy vigilantes, stalwart patrons of virtue, two-fisted treasure hunters, dashing daredevil pilots, and more. Your heroes will thwart the dastardly machinations of villainous mad scientists, ruthless mobsters, ancient cults, and of course, let's not forget those evil Nazis bent on world domination. It is time for heroes. Heed the call. The 263-page PDF is available over at Drive-Thru RPG for $19.95. DB says Kenneth Robeson was the pen name. Aha. DB said, damn, I thought this was for Savage Worlds. It isn't. No, it is not. It is own game. And I will be honest, I kind of kicked around, do I really want to share a news piece from Adamant Entertainment after that whole Far West fiasco? But then I thought, well, you know what? At least this is out. So this is something that's out, so why not? All right, Tesco Love and the Last True Michael are with us in chat tonight. Oh, that is it for the tabletop role-playing game news tonight. I did mention Drive-Thru RPG a few times. Don't forget, the gaming gang, thus the Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you're going to go visit, say, Drive-Thru RPG, or Dungeon Masters Guild, Storytellers Vault, Wargame Vault, what have you, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our ads. Right now, it is currently a box ad, kind of upper before the fold on the website. And if you click on that and actually make a purchase, I get a 5% commission. All those commissions do add up. Help keep thegaminggang.com around. Also, if you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. If you like the video, if you dig the channel, if you find the Gaming Gang to be a valuable resource, hell, if you just like what we do, you can always support the outlet in a couple of other ways. First, by making a one-time donation by way of PayPal. Hell, you can buy me a 2-liter bottle of soda. That is just so good. And you can even become a monthly member of our Patreon. You'll find links in the show notes. Also down in those show notes, you'll find a link to our Discord server. It's absolutely free to sign up, so be sure to hang with the gang over on Discord. And of course, I always like to share a nice tip of the cap to our Patreon members during the live shows. So big thank you to Kaval, Kevin R. Smith, Talzek, Sean O'Donnell, Herman Lutman, Gustavo Cavalho, Kevin King, Game Cat, RPG Munch, Tier 2 DM, Pete Strakulich, Dan Webb, Tessie Trekkie, Agile Monk, and the Madman. And you'll find many of those folks are hanging out in chat with us right now. Very nice. Very nice. DB says, hey, I just looked. I have an earlier edition of Thrilling Tales. I don't know if it's D6, because it almost seems like this third edition, they're kind of making a big deal that it's their D6 plus. So I don't know. I don't know what earlier editions of Thrilling Tales may have been like system-wise. All righty. So as I mentioned, I'm going to give away a copy of the Shadowfinder Complete Player's Guide to a lucky viewer watching right now. And if you don't happen to win here, I will tell you how you can also get back into the running and join folks who aren't watching live with their chance to win a copy as well. So it's going to be a trivia question here for the live viewers. So because Shadow Dark is kind of a little swords and sorcery as far as old school essentials go, I'm going to ask you a question about weird tales. So the first person to give me the names of 3 authors who were repeatedly featured in the first run of Weird Tales. So we're looking at what, 1923 to 54, 25 to 54, something like that. Give me 3 authors all in one line. All in one line. Don't be going dink, dink, dink. All 3 in one typed sentence. First person wins. Well, DB could have won, but they're not all in one sentence. All right, there we go. I would have preferred if we had gotten Clark Ashton Smith. Thank you very much. Just because it's H.P. Lovecraft doesn't mean you had to abbreviate the first and middle names of all 3 authors. So yes, I will accept Clark Ashton Smith, Robert E. Howard, and H.P. Lovecraft. There were quite a few. Seabury Quinn would be another one. Robert Bloch. Let's see. Gosh. I was thinking of all these. And in fact, I actually brought up a website that listed the authors so that if somebody busted out something that I did not recognize, I'd be like, oh, okay. Right? Isaac Asimov. I mean, there's hundreds of them. I'm just kind of scanning through. Oh, Algernon Blackwood. Yes. Who was it? William Burroughs is the one that kind of threw me. I knew without looking at the list, but I was always like, that's not necessarily somebody I would have thought of. Lester Del Rey. So DB says, my typing is crap. I was in a rush. I panicked. All right, DB, you know how this works. All you got to do is email Jeff McLear at thegaminggang.com from the email address that's associated with your YouTube account. I will send you the link to your copy of Shadowfinder. All right, so if you didn't win, or if you're watching this after the fact, right after the stream's ended, I'm going to give away another copy in PDF. Super simple. It's, pretty much how I do all the giveaways. Be a subscriber to the channel. Hopefully like the video. I can't tell if you do or not, but thumbs up helps. And leave a nice comment on this video. I will randomly select a winner. And I will reveal that person on tomorrow's show. What I'm trying to do is I'm going to try to roll out giveaways every live show. Try to do, not at least one, but do a giveaway for people who watch live and then carry that over to people who don't have an opportunity to watch live. Give them a chance to win as well. So gonna try to do that. I can't guarantee, but for the next 2 weeks, I can pull this off. We'll see what happens. We'll find out what happens then. Very nice. Very nice. So sweet. Somebody had mentioned it's actually pretty cool. Who was it? Let's go back up. Oh, this is good YouTubing, huh? Oh, Kevin R. Smith said Shadowfinder's pretty cool. If nothing else, you can mine it for house rules and variant classes for your Shadow Dark games. Well, if we get some wilderness rules, that'll work. Zarquan's with us once again. Welcome aboard. Captain Finity Time Travel Police has also joined the gang here in chat. Alrighty. Anyway, got to run a little bit of Call of Cthulhu last night. We didn't get a whole lot of gaming in because Cameron's girlfriend was exhausted, falling asleep, and last minute Elliot couldn't make it over. So I figured, well, that's fine. It's all right. So we played for like an hour and a half. Now, if Elliot had come over and that had happened, I would not be a happy camper because we don't get an opportunity for Elliot to pop on in and play very often. So it'd have been like, oh, yeah, okay, thanks. Thanks a lot. Funny thing is, it's like people know we're playing. So, wouldn't you you were off the whole day and you maybe kind of decided to take a nap or something in the afternoon? I don't know. Sometimes I just don't get it. I don't. It's sort of, I think part of it is that my gang, Elliot understands, but the rest of them, they don't really understand what goes into like prepping for a game. So it's like, yeah, okay. Kevin R. Smith says they've been that person who dozed off at the gaming table after a hard day at work. My brother did that last time we played. He literally had fallen asleep a couple of times. I mean, he stayed with it. It wasn't like he was tired, so he wasn't like involved. But yeah, he was he was zoning out. And a couple of times he's like, eyes closed, sleeping. All righty. So tonight's topic we're going to be discussing, and of course, I'm going to welcome your thoughts in chat. And of course, after the fact, if you're watching the show after it streams, by all means, let me know what you think in the comments. We're going to talk about how we might be able to stop all the AI slop in tabletop. But first, I think it's time for a brief intermission.
It's intermission time, folks. Time out for a delicious snack in our sparkling refreshment building. Every item a fresh, appetizing taste treat.
What's your pleasure, sir or madam, and all you kiddies too? Sandwiches, freshly made from quality ingredients, soft drinks, cool, tangy, and refreshing. A hot dog? There you are, tender, juicy, done to a turn with some fixins. Hamburgers, ma'am? Just the way you like 'em, meaty, moist, and broiled to perfection. Soft drinks, kiddies? Take your choice, cold, tingly with flavor, all your favorite soft drinks for your selection. Something to eat for everyone, soft drinks to make your evening complete. Delicious, fresh, and satisfying to help your entertainment reach the peak of family fun.
And now meet the star of our show. Symbol of a treat that quality made famous. America's most famous ice cream treat, Eskimo pie. Creamy, delicious ice cream made even more exciting with smooth, rich chocolate coating. And wearing the label of quality, known the world over. Eskimo pie, the treat you know is tops because it carries its pledge of quality right on the back of the bag. Be sure you save the bags for valuable premiums. Get famous Eskimo pie at our refreshment stand now. It's America's anytime taste treat. Finest ice cream, finest chocolate. It's delicious.
Vote for me and we'll all drink Wilkins coffee.
But I don't like Wilkins.
Elect me and you'll learn to like Wilkins.
This is the dawning of the age of Colossus.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Charles Forbin. In a few moments, Colossus will address us directly.
This is the voice of world control. I bring you peace. It may be the peace of plenty and content, or the peace of unburied death. The choice is yours. Obey me and live, or disobey and die.
The frightening story of the day man built himself out of existence. Colossus, the Forbin Project.
It's making you a prisoner.
Shock, horror, suspense. Created with all the technological brilliance of 2001, A Space Odyssey. Colossus is the ultimate in sophisticated computers.
I'm going to try to convince the computer that you're my mistress, and that therefore I have to be given the opportunity to see you regularly in private. That way we can pass information back and forth. Four times a week.
Good night.
This is insane. When do you think you'll be able to attempt the overload?
Colossus sees all, senses all, knows all, controls all armaments and all defenses. When this emotionless creation becomes the master of man, the result is catastrophic.
The Supreme Council of the USSR has ordered, as of 2300 hours Moscow time tomorrow, the activation of an electronic brain exactly like ours, which they call God.
They built Colossus, supercomputer with a mind of its own. Then they had to fight it for the world.
My
The missile has just been launched. It is heading towards the Cyan-Sibirsk oil complex.
Guardian has retaliated.
Retaliated?
It may be too late, sir.
Oh, my God.
We're gonna defeat Colossus with our sexy sex. And yes, DB figured out, yeah. That's a movie trailer timed for tonight's discussion. Correct. So I see Art by Hobo was talking about stopping AI in the great scheme of things. We're talking about like small a, small I. So we're talking about the AI slop that's currently present in our hobby. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. I'm afraid I'm going to have to ban Agile Monk because he, of all people, should realize this channel's name is The Gaming Gang, not Gaming Gang. So, for those of you out there who are wondering, why is Jeff sensitive about people dropping the? Few reasons. Number one, if you go try to find gaminggang.com, I don't know what you're going to get as far as a website. You aren't going to find mine. And if you search Gaming Gang here on YouTube, now I don't know if it's still the case, but it wasn't that long ago that you got channels about gangs and gang symbols. So, not necessarily something I want any sort of association with. Yes. So Sora got shut down. DB says, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Yes. The deep fakes. So, let's talk about AI that we see in tabletop gaming. I see a lot of it with role-playing games. And it's twofold. One, we have the AI artwork, which is everywhere. Max Apocalypse says, Jeff of the Gaming Gang. No. Weisenheimer, and yes, welcome back, Max Apocalypse. Anyway. So you have the artwork that, I mean, it's usually really obvious what is going to be the AI artwork. And then you also have the AI being used to actually write the books. So Agile Monk with a super chat for $4.99 says, on behalf of myself and a grateful nation, I apologize to the Gaming Gang. No, I just let you know why. It's kind of like, because, if people think it's Gaming Gang, they're like, oh, Jeff's always talking about the website. Let's see, gaminggang.com. Like I said, I don't know what you're going to find. It's not going to be my website. And then the weird YouTube having gang symbol videos. I was like, what the hell? Anyway. So I've noticed if you take a peek at Drive-Thru RPG and you go and you look at the new items section, I would say a good 70% is using AI. Now, we're not talking about, large publishers. And I get it. There's the argument where, I'm a small publisher. I'm just one person. We're going to get to that in a minute. Daryl Ehret's with us. So using AI for a prep session handout is okay. you have your own thoughts about AI and what you're willing to accept and what you're not. So I can't tell you. I can't tell you if somebody thinks using AI to finish their homework is fine. That's up to them. But unfortunately, we do already know AI is making. We've got so many things out there making people stupider. Like homework is not necessarily there just as like a punishment. It's repetition. It's to drill information into your memory banks. So Agile Monk says there's no AI artwork and no AI writing in his products. Agile Monk says exactly, stupider. So as far as the things going on, in the world and with Google and, OpenAI, all the Chat GPT, we don't have control over that. But we do have control with our wallets over what we'll find to be acceptable in our tabletop gaming. So one of the reasons why AI is utilized is because for the most part, it's free. Now, of course, there are things that, you can subscribe to. And I understand because I've had tons of emails from people bitching at me because, well, I'm a single creator. I can't afford artwork. I can't afford proofreading. I can't afford this. I can't afford that. And my response is, you can use public domain artwork. You can buy packages of clip art. There's hundreds of them on Drive-Thru RPG. So you're actually using an artist's art. You have paid them for it. So you can do that. So I don't buy into the whole, well, I'm only one person. I can't afford to do this. Well, there are a lot of single creators out there, individual creators out there. And for whatever reason, they're able to put artwork into their books. They're able to proofread their books that come out or adventures or what have you. So no, I don't accept the argument where it's like, oh, well, I don't have the money to, well, I don't know what to fucking tell you. Like I said, I've got some emails where people are like really pissed that I refuse to knowingly share any sort of news items, any sort of reviews, anything like that for a product that was created utilizing AI. I just will not. And, I will point out tonight's thumbnail on the video is an AI image and it is fucking awful. It is like, what the hell is this? It's like, yeah, well, that's what you get. So that will, and the thing is, I did not create it. It's actually from another article that I have utilized it from. So it's not like I went and was like, oh yeah, okay, give me an image of. No, that is not it. Right. So DB says they have friends who do work for games and films, concept art. You used to have 12, 20 artists working on that stuff. Now it's 2. And all they really do is edit AI. People are losing their livelihoods. Agile Monk points out that the thumbnail is horrifying. I'm sorry, horrific. Kevin R. Smith points out searching Creative Commons fantasy art gives lots of results. Yes. So here's what I would recommend. The easiest way to stamp out AI slop in our hobby is to refuse to purchase anything created with AI. Now, of course, once again, that's completely up to you. I mean, I know there are people out there who feel absolutely no twinges of conscience whatsoever using any sort of AI. They would use as much AI as they possibly could to save them the brain power of actually having to do the work. Well, not much I can do about that. But I got to point out, it's getting high tide where I believe those of us who utilize Drive-Thru RPG, and remember, I'm an affiliate of Drive-Thru RPG. So if they were to decide, well, you know, Jeff's giving us too hard a time, we're going to boot him from our affiliate program, that would be a negative effect overall. You know, so we do pretty well as an affiliate of Drive-Thru RPG, but it's gotten to the point where, yeah, okay, so they've got a little thing. If you scroll down, it'll tell you, was this item created in any way, shape, or form using AI? And sometimes it says, nope, completely human created. And other times it'll say, yeah, it was created with AI. Now, a lot of times I can tell just from the cover if it's AI or not. And the other thing I notice is a lot of these publishers who utilize AI crank out tons and tons of releases. So it's bad enough we have all this just complete shit on Drive-Thru RPG already. Now on top of that, you've got all this AI trash that's being thrown out there as well. So I honestly think it's getting to the point where people are going to have to make a stand and force Drive-Thru RPG to make a stand. That they're either with creators and artists or they are not. And if they are not, then I know it's kind of tough because it is pretty much a clearinghouse of practically all things tabletop role-playing in PDF. But still. And then, you know, I also see that people buy games that are created with AI. I have heard them talk about, well, you know, I noticed they tend to be less costly than games that are, you know, with artists creating art. Here's the thing. There is no genre out there of role-playing games that you cannot find in the course of 6 months for pennies on the dollar, either through Humble Bundle, Fanatical, or Bundle of Holding. Now, having said that, is it going to be, but you know, I want the latest Pathfinder stuff. Okay. You want the latest Pathfinder stuff, then you have to pay for the latest Pathfinder stuff. You know, it goes back. I've said this a while ago. I've said this a few times over the years, where just because you want something doesn't necessarily mean you deserve something. And sadly, we now live in a society where just because something is out there, even if a person doesn't have the means financially to acquire that, they think that they should have that. I mean, it's ridiculous. And, you know, AI plays into that. But for those out there who say, well, you know, buying the latest Dungeons and Dragons releases, buying the latest Traveler releases, buying the latest Call of Cthulhu releases is very pricey. I can't afford it, but I can, you know, pay less and buy stuff that's created with AI. But the thing is, you're still not getting that game. You buying a 5e open game license fantasy role-playing game that was put together with AI, artwork is all AI, and rather than paying $30 for the PDF, you paid $5. You're still not getting Dungeons and Dragons. But yes, I do believe that we have to put a stop to it, because what's going to eventually happen is the good stuff, the human creators out there, the human artists, they are going to be put out of business. All right, let me jump back. I know we've got quite a few people popping into chat. Ravenclaw74 is with us. Said social media began this descent into idiocracy. Yeah, you know, it's super weird too, because when Idiocracy came out, it's a funny movie. And I forget who I was dating somebody, and I said to her, I said, you know, we're not that far off from this starting. And she's laughing. She's like, oh, come on. It's ridiculous. 20 some years later, or whatever it's been. I don't know. I saw, oh gosh, what is it? Good night, good luck, don't die. I think I got the first part of it wrong. I saw that last week. I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. You know what I thought was funny about it? If you have seen it, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but if you've seen it, that would actually make for a pretty interesting role-playing adventure. Just maybe not necessarily just a one-shot. Well, maybe if you were playing like a 4-hour, 5-hour session, you could do it. But even if you broke it up over 2 sessions, I think that'd be pretty wild. Art by Hobo had pointed out, yeah, a lot of free graphics and art under Creative Commons. Many don't even require royalties. Some of them don't even require you to attribute to who it was. So Keith Lewis says, if I want to do character art, I use Daz Studio to use 3D models to make characters and scenes. There's tons of free resources, models, textures, etc. out there. Kevin R. Smith says, also, you don't have to have art on every page of a book. That is another great point. Because there are some fantastic role-playing game products out there, and let's say maybe they're 80 pages in length, just as an example. And there are 8 pieces of art plus the cover, maybe the back. Ravenclaw 74 says Europe's already passed laws to protect workers' jobs from AI and other automation. Yeah, they've also thrown kids off of social media. I like that. That's a pretty good idea there. Mark 7W says, well, good for Europe. Kevin R. Smith points out the Traveler Little Black Books had no art whatsoever. The appeal of this hobby is not predominantly art, though good art is cool. Keith Lewis says they will not knowingly buy any product that has AI in it. Savage Splendor is also with us in chat. J-Man says there's a filter for AI products on drive-thru. Yes, I understand that. What I'm saying is a stand has to be made. Just because I won't buy it. I mean, yes, that's great. But it's not going to make enough of an impact. We need to hit people using AI where it hurts, and that is in the wallet. Art by Hobo says, yeah, AI is going to oversaturate many markets. This results in cheap quality products, driving wages down. DB says, I don't click on YouTube vids with AI thumbnails. They look silly and amateurish. Probably the opposite effect the posters want. Something else I think is really weird is how, I don't know how many of you out there on your phones have like the Google News feed. I do. And I'll be damned how many like established websites will have news items that the thumbnails have nothing to fucking do with what the article is. I was like, there was something, it was just like today or yesterday. It was about the Goonies, and the thumbnail was Stranger Things. I was like, what the fuck? It's like, how lazy can this get? Like I said, there's got to be something going on. And I'm not some conspiracy guy, and I'm like, not going to run upstairs and put a tinfoil hat on when I'm done with the show. But there is a plot to make humanity stupider. There's got to be. I mean, this is the plan. I don't know if it's the Illuminati or what, but still, it's gotten to the point where it's pretty fucking obvious. If you take a minute and just look at the things that go, and you're like, what? Lona's Cave said, funny, there was a girlfriend AI app before watching this live. And welcome back to chat, Lona's Cave. Art by Hobo says, I don't understand why people pay money for AI products. Why pay for AI products when the customer can just generate the same thing for free? Let's see. Chris Lenren is with us, says, I have no issue for AI as long as it's used as a tool, but not as an only use thing. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Chris. We're talking about AI artwork in tabletop gaming, AI writing in tabletop gaming. DB says, I'm getting so many ads tonight. The robot overlords don't want me watching this one. There you go. There you go. New study, Agile Monk points out, AI fails at 96% of jobs. Here's something else about AI. AI is a scam. I mean, there you go. I just said it. AI is a scam. AI is another fucking crypto that's like, okay, so we're going to sucker you into investing into this. And your return on the investment is not going to be what you expect. Because a realization, and I have heard this from people in the AI industry, is AI is trash. They're trying to pitch AI doing things that AI cannot do at this point. But then it does stuff that freaks you out. Like, I read an article talking about an AI test model in China broke free of its containment and started trading crypto, which it was never designed to do. It's like, aha. Lone's Cape says, I've always said that Etsy's going to see its downfall when they allow made in China stuff on their site. When they let China products in, site went downhill. DB says, AI was trained on people's work, the biggest pocket picking in human history. Yes. How dare these corporations go and scrape information without ever asking any sort of permission? And then, God forbid, anybody out there utilize something of theirs that's priority or prioritized, and they'll sue you for $1 billion. It's like, come on. Come on. Max Apocalypse says drive-through fiction's also letting AI written works through too. Not as many as Amazon, but still. Yeah, just like if you go over to like Audible has the what are they calling it now? Virtual voice narrators. I was looking through because I had a credit over on Audible. I'm like, what should I pick up? I'm looking, and I was looking at history. I could not believe out of like, say, 100 history books on a page, at least 20 of them were narrated by virtual voice. I was like, no, thank you. W4 asked, did Sam Rockwell dance? I don't remember. I don't think he danced in it. Yeah, Art by Hobo says, yeah, somebody publishing 200 novels a year is a gigantic red flag. Kim King says, ask Gemini what Skynet would think of tonight's topic, tactical deployment of cybernetic infiltration units to all local hobby shops has commenced. There you go. Kevin R. Smith says, there's a study by ChatGPT which concluded you can't eliminate AI hallucinations. Therefore, they're bad at anything that requires accuracy. Ravenclaw says, the only people who are really gung-ho for AI are people that understand it or corporations that want it to replace as many people as possible. I think the latter is probably more prevalent. Yes, Kevin King says, C-suite types love it. Oh, yeah, because they're sitting there and they're thinking to themselves, oh, my God, just think of the numbers that we can report to our shareholders. Oh! AI's new D20 open game license bubble in the RPG world. Oh, Savage Splendor is asking, is AI? No, because sadly, I don't think AI is going anyplace. I think we're stuck with it. Even though, like I said, yeah, we got to make a stand. And making a stand is not purchasing stuff made with AI. So when, these creators have flooded Drive-Thru RPG, Storyteller's Vault, Dungeon Masters Guild with all this AI slop, and they're not making any money off of it, then, because, there is some time investment in creating, things through AI. It's not like it's just, I think it and it's done. But once they start realizing that, hey, you know what, they're not making any money at it, then they will look at more legitimate avenues, I guess I would say. Crystal Henry says they love making two AIs argue with each other. Copilot talking to Gemini back and forth to come up with ideas sometimes. Most is weird nonsense. Thought it was very telling, the article. It's from about a year ago, where a reporter was, they were working on an article about AI. And the AI started showing, like emotional attachment to them. And that it wanted to replace the guy's wife. And this is not some movie plot. This was real. The guy was like freaking out. Max Apocalypse says all the big companies are tripling down on this crap too. It's like they all invested deeply, are desperate to make good. Yeah, see, that's something else that we see where, great example of this would be the Vietnam War, right? Was it 67? They know they can't win it. McNamara's like, nope. We can't pull this off. And it just was like, all right, well, let's just keep shoveling humans over into there. I was like, fuck. W4 says, funny thing is the trend in random tables seems like a physical representation of AI in written form. Can't make a choice? Just roll on the appropriate table for your answer. Art by Hobo says, random tables are totally unrelated to AI. Ravenclaw says, ashamed the U.S. has leveraged so much of its economy on AI and crypto. I fear when the bubble bursts. Well, there's a certain sort of American. I'm not going to say anything else, but I would say with a different administration in power in the White House, you would not see such an investment into AI and especially not into cryptocurrency. And like I said, I will leave it at that. DB says, we had ChatGPT generate a picture of what the world would look like in 20 years if if EA Games was allowed to take over. If AI was left unregulated and it had a big chalk outline of a body in the middle of the street. True story. Xpocalypse says, until they realize the so-called AI can't actually do the work of those people, by then the damage is done. Captain Finity Time Travel Police said they asked Gork, isn't it Grok? The runtime of Raiders of the Lost Ark, and it even got the basic information way wrong. Oh yeah, you see that all the time. You do a Google search and you get this trash AI summary. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I can easily think of at least a dozen examples of that within like the last month that I asked something and then either the summary was like complete nonsense or it was absolutely wrong because I knew for a fact. It's, stuff like, what's the page count of XYZ book? It's like, oh, the page count's 295 pages. And it's like, no, it's not. It's 128. And I know that's not that big a deal, but still, for one, didn't you scrape the correct information, stupid? All right, let's see. Art by Hobo says, Grok also uses 1 million gallons of water per day to cool its servers. That's something else that is a big deal. That's why a lot of communities are like, data centers? No. We don't want data centers here because it's going to gobble up all their resources. It's going to cause their, and I love how the electric companies are like, oh no, these companies are going to absorb the majority of the costs for us to expand our equipment. Bullshit. Everyone knows that it's all going to come down to the consumer paying for that shit. That's why you see all these communities voting to stop data centers from being placed in their communities. Oh, Captain Finity says, it is Grok. The Gork misspelling was my little joke. Oh, I thought maybe you were using AI. ChatGPT, tell chat that when I use Grok, Aaron Troop says AI does generate great random tables. There you go. Let's see. Google wants me to ask Jeeves to come back. Ask Jeeves was not very good. So Agile Monk says that's a major lie. I'm very in touch with what's really happening with those data centers and the true expense of operating for even a day. Electric companies love it as they make a fortune off of it. Yes, of course they're going to make a fortune. They're going to make it for one, they're going to make a fortune because they're not going to spend the money. They're not going to spend their money on all the equipment that they have to build to support the data centers. So right there, like I said, our Commonwealth Edison out here in the Chicago area was like, oh yeah, some area voted down having a data center placed there, and they're like, oh, but you don't understand this data center. They're gonna pay for all that. Okay, so what happens if the data center doesn't work out? It's like, oh, but it'll be in their contract that if the data center fails, before a 10-year period or yeah, okay. Sure. I'm so believing that. Anyway, but we're kind of talking AI on a grand scale, which I don't think we have a whole heck of a lot of control over outside of maybe the ballot box. But Max Apocalypse asks, but does AI work on Netscape? I don't know. You'll have to go search on America Online. It should have the answer for you there. But yeah, I also thought it was kind of funny how the government, the military is all like, yeah, we want Skynet. It's like, yeah, okay. Didn't you people see Colossus, the Forbin Project? What's wrong with you? That's probably a movie that needs a reboot, right? A remake. All Lucky 7 is with us. Might be a first-time visit in chat. Welcome aboard. Says, crap, I need to upgrade to Netscape. I'm still on Mosaic. Yes. Anywho. But like I said, if you want to make your own personal stand against AI in tabletop gaming, the best way to do so is just do not buy anything that's indicated that they have used AI. And yes, I do understand they're, publishers. I shouldn't say publishers because they're really not publishers. They're creators. And they're really not bad either, but they're AI jockeys selling content. I know there are some, excuse me, damn. I tell you, this one medication that I'm on, I've mentioned it before. It's like, it just cranks up my stomach acid. So I get heartburn out of nowhere, and anyway. So, thank you, thyroid medication. But the way to put the kibosh on this is do not spend money on anything that's created with AI. And yes, I do know there are AI jockeys out there who are claiming that their products do not use AI. And yes, they did use AI. So, Agile Monk says, meds that jack you at the drive-thru. Yeah, the worst thing is usually the heartburn kicks in. I don't know what it is. It'll be like, oh, yeah, I'm getting ready to have dinner. And they'll be like, oh, God damn it. Art by Hobo says, that's another thing that worries me. When I see obvious AI images used for products, sellers just put the name of their publisher as the artist, outright lying. They will also put the software that they utilized. And because I've also had people argue with me through email. Well, I paid for this software. It's like, yeah, so? It's still creating AI images. It's using ChatGPT to create the images. So it's like, okay. It's like, all right. I will point out, I have a thumbnail I created for tomorrow's show. I don't think it looks like it would be made through AI. I made it. I created it through Photoshop, like all of the thumbnails. I do utilize people's art and normally give them credit for the artwork. But, yeah, talking about like AI art, I'm like, I don't think anybody's going to think that's AI artwork. Will they? I'm like, nah. W4 says, remember that back in the days when you had to go to the trouble to forge or plagiarize content? Damn you, AI. Yeah, I remember way back in the day when you could go and buy software at a computer game store and then return it. And that many game publishers would use, like, answer the question of what's the 7th word on page 14 of the rule, or, whatever, the book, as the, like, piracy protection. Yep. Xerox machines were people's friends back then. Actually, the reason why those D&D modules, the maps are that blue, it's like, could that be picked up on a photocopier? Supposedly. I don't know. I never tried. It's like, really? Okay. W4 says, I remember that. Yeah, well, when you're old. I don't know. All righty. So, in reality, vote with your wallet. Make your stand with your wallet. Because that's really, in this world, that's all that matters. To a vast majority of people. It's the ducats. It really is. All right. So, that is it for tonight's show. Tomorrow night, get ready. This is a very clickbaity title, too. I will tell you, I am testing some things. Because I have a theory. And for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be testing stuff. I'm kind of curious because I have the impression that all these various different websites are, even though YouTube has taken down a bunch of AI videos, Google wants to push AI. We know who owns YouTube. I kind of have the feeling that AI-created content is kind of getting priority over human-created content. Kind of curious. Anyway, so tomorrow night, we're going to talk about, can Luke Gygax and Greyhawk save Dungeons and Dragons? That's our topic for tomorrow. It really is. And you might be surprised by my thoughts on that. Because you're usually surprised by a lot of stuff that I talk about. But yes, that will be tomorrow's episode. Hopefully you will show up and join me in chat and share your thoughts. So speaking of sharing your thoughts, if you were watching after the fact, after the stream ended, I'd like to know what you think of tonight's topic in the comment section. Plus, it also gets you in the running for the other PDF of Shadowfinder, I think it's the complete player guide, if I remember correctly. So yes, and DB, don't forget, reach out. I will get you your copy that you won tonight. And tomorrow night should be another giveaway as well. All right, everybody, if you're watching live, thank you very much. If you watched live and took part in chat, tip of the cap to ya. Because not only are you keeping me company, you're also keeping each other company while I'm doing the news, pontificating about something. Yeah, so kind of keep chat rocking and rolling. But of course, I know there are a lot of folks out there, you don't have an opportunity to watch live. Doesn't matter if you're watching live or on Memorex. And Agile Monk with a $10 super chat as I wrap up. Says, on the next show, can Dan apologize and use a swear word 5 more times as a Wizards of the Coast apology tour with Luke? I did not catch that. I've heard chirps about it. But no, I did not go up to Gary Con, even though Stephen Glicker was kind enough to offer me a ticket. I did not go. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Anyway, if you're watching live, thank you very much. If you watched live and took part in chat. But of course, I know a lot of folks out there, you don't have an opportunity to watch live. Doesn't matter if you're watching live or on Memorex. Thank you for taking time out to watch any of the videos here on the Gaming Gang channel. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more you will never find here on YouTube. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. If you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel, as I pointed out. Yay! And of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, for one, I don't know why you haven't, but if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that bell, because it'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings right here on YouTube. It'll also let you know when I share other videos, such as my review of Tales of the Valiant Player's Guide 2 from Kobold Press, AI free. So you can check out what I thought of the Player's Guide 2. All right, everybody. Thank you kindly for watching. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. And as always, I certainly hope each and every one of you get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.